When you, anyone that want to be in a higher place in life, they're going to have some type of academic background.
Right.
They're not taking, in the United States, a guy who went to high school and didn't go no college, did nothing, say, okay, you can be the president of the United States.
Right.
That ain't happening. Some places it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, there's two ways to get promoted in businesses and corporations and all that. There's a conventional way, and there's an unconventional way. Ain't what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
But then also the one that started from the bottom and moved up their way through.
Yeah, my grandfather was that person. Yeah.
Okay, there it is, right there. So, but are we wrong for guiding our kids? Say, listen, let's have something else on our belt.
For myself and our program at Edgewater, absolutely not. Because our goal, we're not making football their God. Like, not doing it, because it'll let you down every time. Every time. Now, I will tell them this. I say, look, if you're going to do it, because you got to decide that you want to do it. This is, remember, playing, you know, it's education is a right. Playing sports is a privilege.
Right.
And
episode 10, boy, we about to do it big today. You are listening low on the Listen to Low show, brought to you by Sweet Fried Production. And remember what I said, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Make sure you listen to low, because you never know. And my motivation quote of the day is, pain is temporary, greatness is forever. So when you go through pain, and they say it, no pain, no gain. If you overcome that pain, if you make sure that journey is tough, you will be rewarded at the end. And all of a sudden, what you got? Greatness. And I have a great one for you today. I have someone that strives on being the greatest in what he do. I have the head coach of Edgewater High School right here with me today. He was at Lake Highland Prep, 7-3, one of the great seasons. Then he went over to Edgewater, the Edgewater Water, where he restored the pride. 2-time state runs, 2-time state runs, state runner up. So you already know he's trying to reach that greatness. He got a mission and a mission of greatness. And here it is, the head coach of Edgewater High School, Mr. Cameron Duke. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me this evening.
Well, Coach, listen, we talk about pain. We talk about how pain can be temporary. We talk about greatness. Yeah. There's no way a head coach can come through and just make it so easy. He has to lay a foundation. You have to have a base, whether done by brick, right? And everyone has to buy in. A head coach has to get everyone to buy in, from the players to the parents, to the teacher, to the booster, to the administrator. They have to buy in.
Right.
You have did some amazing thing. I can remember back when Edgewater, I hope I don't say this wrong. 0-10?
Yep.
0-10.
And 16.
And I'm like, what is going on? That's not the Edgewater way, right? I can go back when Edgewater went to the state championship 3 years.
Yep.
And I remember the guys that played for that team. I was at every single game, all the way to the state championship. Then, so it's not usual, but sometimes you have to fall to get back up.
Yeah.
You brought them back up. Tell us, Coach, how did you do it?
I'm with you. When I was in high school, Edgewater was one of the premier powers. And so, you know, when I was at Lake Highland and they had fallen on tough times and it was 0-10, I knew that was not the Edgewater that I knew or what it was could be or gonna be. And then by the grace of God, I was able to get there in 2017, and it was kind of on rock bottom at the time. But you know, I was told by a great coach, you got to have all three. You got to have the administrative support, right? It's got to start from up top with your school leadership and the administration. You got to have the players, right? You got to have players in your program. We've been successful because we've had a lot of great football players.
Right, yes,
there is no doubt about it. And then the third thing is you got to have the right staff in place. You got to have great coaches in place. And I would probably argue the fourth one is you got to have the community to buy in as well.
Right.
And I think, you know, from day one, laying the vision of why we're here and what we do. And at the end of the day, this is what God has called me to do. Coaching is ministry to me and my staff. We have a chance to pour into these young people and hopefully help them become the men that God has called them to be, and we get it to use the game of football.
Right.
So that's always been our mission and our mindset as a program. But, you know, when I got to Edgewater, the administration, there were players on campus. Our day one starting quarterback was R.J. Harvey.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, UCF.
Yeah, and he's going to be in the league, you know, pray the good Lord next year. And so there was players there. And then I was fortunate to be able to assemble a staff, and a lot of those guys that started with me in 17 are still with me in 2024. Wow. So The pieces, you got to have, I think it takes a village. I think it takes a village. I am not a miracle worker by any means, but the good Lord has called me to lead, and that's what I want to do, and we've been able to do it at Edgewater, but it's been a true village approach to build this program and hopefully continue to build it to chase greatness. But most importantly, we get a chance to go and help these young men become who God has called them to be way after football. Right. And so it's been a great journey, and I'm happy to still be on it. Well,
I tell you, you got some great coaches on your staff, and I have a relationship with one of course, and he is a hometown guy, right? Yep. E.J. Dunston is a hometown player. Edgewater, he bleeds the red.
No doubt.
Right? And then he go to UCF, right, and had his career at UCF, came back to Edgewater, pouring back into the community, pouring back into the kids. And once you got there, kids starts coming in because they can relate. Yeah, they can relate to what was going on. What was that thought process right there with EJ and the kids now want to pour back into from what you were doing with a person like EJ and a staff like that?
Yeah, it's been. I'm so fortunate to have 3 coaches on my staff, actually 4 coaches on my staff that are alumni. Of course, EJ Dunston was with me from day one. When I got there, we hit it off right away, and of course I got to know him well, and there were some things that he connected me with within the community with a program called Every Kid Outreach that was put on, that he was a part of as a student, that we became a part of as a football program, and it was such a godsend my first year to have EJ there, who of course played there, knew exactly where all of our players coming from, the different communities, and just somebody that knew the tradition and history. In our first year motto was Restore the Pride, and he's been a godsend ever since. And what people don't know is, EJ's a great football coach. He's great with our players. He's a great teacher at Edgewater, but he's also a great husband and a great father.
Yeah, it is.
And I got a bunch of coaches that are that, man. They're great husbands. They're great fathers. They want, and it's a chance for our players to see coaches that love their wife, that love their children, and trying to do the best they can in life and doing what God has called them to do. So I am very fortunate to have an incredible staff. And yes, absolutely, with E.J. Dunston being a Edgewater alum, an Edgewater great, a UCF great, right, and also an incredible coach and friend.
Well, and that's just a part of the staff, right?
Yeah.
They're part of the staff.
Yeah.
And
my O-line coach has been with me since the beginning. Chris Jameson, Kyle Joyce has been with me since the beginning. My brother Mark, it's always good. His mom's the coordinator.
Yeah.
So I have literally a large group of coaches that have been with me since 2017, and that they're family. Right. And if we want our program to be a family, our coaches better be a family, and kids can see that if you're not. So we've been very fortunate to have that within our staff that I think has trickled down to our players.
Well, I know myself, I always try to make sure that when I send my kids out and let another coach coach them. I pretty much coach all my kids in youth sports and track. I train them, and I just want to make sure that wherever they go, they have the same journey. They have the same mindset. They have the same purpose, right? And that coach have that same purpose, so they continue what I want for my children. And I love what you said, because we've been talking about that, and as the episode go through. You want to have a great husband, a great father, a great man, and of course, we want to build some great football players.
No doubt.
But if they can come in every day and look up to, see EJ, see the coaches, see the staff, see what's going on, and they know that this is not a coach that's out there going through the motion. Right. We talked about the passion come before the money, right? So you have the foundation right there, coach. Now you got the community that got to get back behind you. I remember when I first met you, I was at the Edgewater Part 1 little camp they was doing out there, and I was working the camp, and you walked over, and some people already knew me, and I think you said, "Who is that?" But I'm out there yelling like I always do. And instantly you gravitated, and I came over, I introduced myself, we started talking, and you were like, let me bring these guys over to my board. Let me get them, let me get a little of that. Right. And you said, come on over, and you brought me and Aaron Jones Sr., NFL great first round draft pick from Steelers. He came over, and he's a great husband, great father, great man, all the things that you want. And we came out there and we worked the kid, we trained the kid, and we built that relationship along. So now you got a foundation here, you got a community going, you're working with the youth kids, you got outside program that you bring in to make sure the kids get everything they need to follow your vision.
Right.
right? And everybody on the same foundation. What was your thought? Why you thought you needed that?
Well, I think my goal as a head coach is to put people around my players that are going to help them be the best person they can be as an athlete, as a student. And so I try to have people around me that are smarter than me, that are better than me. You know, my academic advising team at Edgewater, they're guidance counselors at our school, and hats off to them. These ladies do an incredible job, but they're smarter than me. I need, you know, and so they run our academic advising program with our students. They understand everything from, you know, the standpoint of how to maximize their ability as a student, right? So I have guidance counselors that work with our football team. You know, I look at our coaches. My coaches they're incredible at what they do. They're better coaches in their position group than I would be if I was coaching their position group. You know, when people are working with our players outside the program, I want them to work with guys that are going to make them better, that know more than I do. I think as soon as you become arrogant in this job, it'll humble you very quickly. Fast. And my goal is to try to surround our players with people that are going to help them maximize who they are, and usually those people are going to be much smarter or better at what they do than myself. And then from the standpoint of the community, you know, Edgewater is a community school.
Right.
I mean, deep ties. 1952, the school opened, and the community has been incredible to our program. The communities of College Park, the communities of Eatonville, and the communities of Rosemont. I mean, they have done an incredible job of supporting our program, supporting our coaches, supporting our players. And so we live in the community, right? I live a mile and a half from the school. I shop at a Publix right down the road, and that's good and bad, I guess.
I go to Walmart.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying.
I go to church. A church on the drive. Who the lead pastor has been part of our program since I've been there, and my wife, and now I have 2 little girls. We're entrenched in the community. That's what I love about Edgewater, and the community has been great to our football program as well. So, you know, my job is to kind of steer the ship in the direction of the program, but making sure that we have the right coaches, the right people, the right academic advisors, the right community members surrounding our young people to help them out.
Well, it look like you're doing a good job, because, you know, they're going to college, and we're talking about on every level in school. So I mean, they're graduating. You can't go to college, you graduate. So like we're doing something right there. You're holding them accountable and all from there. So we put all that together. We got that nice community. We built that foundation. And then there's something that you do that I don't think a lot of people know. Because kids nowadays, to my opinion, are privileged. They think you owe them. Times are changing now. R.J. Harvey gone.
Right.
All right. So times don't kind of change, right?
Yeah.
No, these kids are a little different. They think you owe them. They're privileged. They get in trouble. You're supposed to let them in anyway, right? I'm the best guy. They let me through, right? And they don't. They take everything for granted. You know, the locker room a mess. You make them clean it up. They got all this food. I know y'all bring them all this food. I mean, I was going there still. I'm gonna let you know. When you turned your back, I stole all the cookies, the cakes. Every time I was to train, I was like, yeah, baby, let me get some of that right there, cause y'all had food everywhere, right?
Right. Yep.
So all that. So these guys, the kids are. Some have meals at home, so they were able to take what you want. You take how much you want, right? I remember the kid that you had that was homeless, right? They're living in the car, and he ended up going to FIU.
Yeah, Nate White.
So y'all, and we didn't even know. All of a sudden, we found out, we realized instantly. We started working with him, right?
Yep.
So that's another part of building the foundation, not just the football run, but down the field. Make sure they good when they leave the school at the same time. It's hard now, Coach. Yeah. It's hard. It ain't easy now. You can't go to everybody's house and hold their hand. They still young men we're trying to build. They still got to take control of their own action at the same time too. Yep. I heard, and I know for a fact, that you take these boys to Guatemala. That got to be an experience out of this world, because you know, look at us. We're sitting here in a nice studio. Right. You know, we might go get a steak, you know. But you pack them guys up, and y'all go to Guatemala and let them see the other side. Yeah. Ain't few coaches can do that. No, it's been something that we did. We did it when I was at Lake Highland. We went down to the Bahamas, and not the Atlantis Yeah.
Is that what it's called? That resort.
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
inland Bahamas putting on football camps. It was great. It was great for a time when I was at Lake Highland. We did it 3 years. And then when I got to Edgewater in 2019, there was a local church that took a group and had a organization called Clubhouse Guatemala that they would always take people down to. And I was approached, would we be interested in taking football players down there and going and serving a community and putting on football camps and building homes and all that.
Right.
And I said, of course, because we had done that prior. And so we've been able to go and do this. 19, couldn't do it, of course, in 20 with COVID, 21, 22, 23. And so this year we'll do it again.
Right.
And what it does is it's a chance for us. I think every coach is always talking about you got to have better leadership, right? I always tell our guys, I'm not going to take one snap on Friday night. I'm not going to play one snap of the game as a coach. So it's up to you what we do. And it comes from leadership, right? And there's a lot of coaches that we can complain we don't have great leadership. Well, we've decided years ago that we better train up leadership. We better teach it and show it and demonstrate it. And also, how can we do that? Well, I believe how you lead is you learn how to serve. Right. I think leadership is about servant leadership. You serve those around you. That's what great leaders do. That's what I hope I continue to do. I hope I serve people well, my coaches, my community, my players. It's nothing about me. It's about me being a servant. Well, if our players are going to be great leaders, we need to teach them how to serve.
Right.
I believe in that model. I think that's the Jesus model. And, bottom line is we get a chance to go down to Guatemala and we take kids from all different backgrounds, our athletes from all different backgrounds, to go down there and to go and serve. We build houses. We do food ministry. We take food into homes. And I'm homes now.
You're right.
These aren't, we don't know what these homes, these are.
They don't live in Windermere.
No. I'll never forget, Tommy Hill, who was a great player, played at Nebraska.
You're my guy. Yeah.
He one time, when we were down there, he said, Coach, I thought I was from the hood. And He goes, I realized I'm rich.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, it's a chance for them to serve and create. Man, I tell you, those trips. C.J. Baxter told me, Coach, this is the best thing I've ever done. This is after a year at Texas.
Right.
That trip was the best. And we're staying in a camp and very remote, and we're going in these homes. We're putting on camps for the local youth, and we're building a home. But man, it's a chance for those guys to really see the real world, go and serve and love others well. And what happens is they realize that when them doing that, they actually are rewarded probably more than the kids and communities that we serve down there. So it builds great relationships with me and our players and those guys with each other, and hopefully an experience and a memory that will last a lifetime, and hopefully also help steer them in the right direction as a leader, and then they get a chance to come back, because we do this in July, and then we get a chance to come back in fall camp, and I want them to be able to put that into practice with the team.
Right.
Serve your teammates, serve your families well, love them well, and that is what leadership is. So it's been something that I have, there's been so many people that have made this a reality, from Josh Plant, who's at Church on the Drive, our athletic director, Josh Vandergriff, who's now opened it up to all athletes in our school from a leadership standpoint. So when we go down there this year, we'll have football players, but also have players from all the different sports teams that coaches have nominated, and it's great. But yeah, it's a chance for us to develop leadership, and really a chance for them to grow, I think, as a person, and also be grateful, right? And have it and kind of get rid of the sense of entitlement, because they go down there and they see these families and these children that have very little, and they see great joy. Right. And it's really not about what you have, but it's about who you're with and what you're doing. Right.
Well, I tell you, I think it's awesome. I wish I had an opportunity. Back then, the most we ever had was Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We used to go to the little yeehaw jump camp, and we used to go out there, and and it's interesting. I thought that was the best thing ever, because I never left the Taylor's apartment. Right. They can call it hood or ghetto, whatever. I never left that. You know what I mean? And when they took it for the weekend, a getaway, and we stay in these little places, and we sat down together. We've been to play this football game against Carver, Horace Copeland, guys like that there. We've been to play, and we eating, and I met my daughter mom there, and just stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But that still didn't humble me in a sense, because it was the same thing, right? A little bit better. But going over there, you come back definitely a whole different person, a new respect on life, on people. And you can see it, because you've seen the humbleness sometimes that came with the guys like Tommy Hills and the Chris Learys and the Cedric Baxter, a lot of guys like the guys you said they went. You've seen the humbleness. You've seen it. All of a sudden, leadership started coming out. It's still tough now. They're still kids. You got to come back to reality. No doubt. Don't get me wrong. Now, they ain't going to come back and walk in a straight line. I'm one person perfect in this world's God. That's right. So we know they ain't going to have. But Imagine the guys that didn't go, or if they did not go and they came back, you know where they could have been.
And they get a chance to see they get a chance, the players that have gone to share their experiences with the teammates and really get a chance to hopefully demonstrate what it really means to look like to lead. So you got the player who everybody knows is an exceptional athlete, but now he's got a humble mindset. That spreads throughout your team.
Correct.
You know, you got your best player who's now picking up trash in the cafeteria.
Correct.
And not making the cafeteria workers do it. Or they're doing the little things because they have a spirit of humility. So if your best players are doing that, it's going to spread throughout your team.
There it is. And that's foundation.
And, you know, shout out to FCA, because FCA, man, when I was in high school, was incredible. They still do great stuff with our program, and we've been to a lot of different FCA camps. And I thank God for Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
I tell you one thing. Every time I get on Listen Low show, I'm always talking about what the high school should have. And they took out so much out of high school for our young men, and I would love for them to continue. Like, make sure elective should be just me talking. Everybody might be mad. I don't need Spanish.
Right.
Put me in Fellowship Athlete. Put me in FCA.
Yeah.
Put me in something else that can help me more with life. I work at a resort. I've been there 20 years, right? 80% is from another country. 20% is from here.
Wow.
I was a senior in-house sales trainer for 16 years. Top sales rep for 2 years. Now I'm the operating training manager now going on 2 years. 20 years.
Wow.
I don't speak a lick of Spanish.
Right.
I'm just saying, I wear the ring, the $1 million club ring.
Yeah.
Right? But that the Fellowship of Christian Athlete, I still have the new book right now today.
Right.
Every time I see the guy come to the FPU camp, give me a book.
Yeah.
I get the books and pass out to the kid.
Yeah.
I knew that book gave me great information.
Yep.
They should have that at every single school, coach.
Yeah. And they a lot of them still are able to come in and volunteer, and we have a great FCA here in Central Florida. They've been good to our program in Edgewater for sure. But yeah, I mean, I tell you, when I was in high school, we took 55 players up to Black Mountain, North Carolina, for an FCA camp, and I'll never forget it. And I've been a bunch of my guys that I played ball with growing up. You know, we were at that camp together, and like you said, it's a memory that will last a lifetime. And yeah, I'm grateful for that organization.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Coach, time to turn a little bit.
All right,
let's go ahead and turn to get into it. Now we talk about the foundation and who you are as a head coach, what you stand for, what you build, right? Your purpose, what you want for all your athletes, right? At Edgewater High School. But Coach, times are changing.
Yep.
Things are getting tough, getting rough. Football was the way out. I got to get your take on it now, right? It used to be easy, right? You had, I think one year you had, I don't know, we was talking, about 100 coaches came through the field. Maybe 100, 160.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
we used to brag about how many coaches going to come to the school.
Sure.
And I remember Dr. Phillips said, man, we had 106. I said, yeah, right. I went in Coach Wells' room. I think all these coaches came 106.
Yeah.
I know you hitting 100.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
we've had, I've been there going on 8 years, and we've been fortunate to send kids everywhere from NAIA D3 to the Powerhouse Division I program. So we've had every college in the last 8 years from coast to coast that have come through there, and it's been great. And it's been great for our young men to be able to get evaluated and all that. And Edgewater's been a heavily recruited school way before I got there too, right? So there's been great athletes that have come through, and but saying all that, times are changing.
Time finna change, Coach. Like, it used to be easy, kids, that you looked at and said, D1, D1 mid-major, we good to go with him.
Yeah.
And you're like, no worry, I got him, he's going to be fine.
Right.
This recruiting process has totally changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from now, the way out is not the way out.
Right. The way out, the way out's got to make sure your grades are top notch. You want to give yourself multiple ways out. We talk about this all the time. You want to give yourself as many options possible to go and better your life out of here. So that's why what you do in the classroom, what your GPA is, of course, the product on the field. But there's so many avenues that we want to make sure we explain to our athletes about what are ways that you can go better, you and your family. As far as a collegiate scholarship, times are changing.
Times don't change. Times don't change.
Yeah, I know.
So there were they only have 6 high school scholarships at the Power 5. I'm finna put in your life right now, Coach. Division II, guess what they told me?
What?
We want 4. How do a Division II only want 4 high school players at a Division II school? Now, they won the national championship.
Yeah.
Then I talked to another Division II school, and he sent me a list of all the players. And I'm looking at the list, right, that he liked. I'm saying, man, you got the dog. You got the best guys.
I know.
I'm like, come on, Coach. And so he sent me in the list. I'm like, I'm checking them out. You take him, take him, take him, take him, take him.
Yeah.
Now I call back a week later, Coach, nobody said you didn't contact nobody. You didn't contact nobody. And then I realized, oh, okay, yeah. he want them if he don't get what he want out of the portal.
Right. Right.
So now you got all these kids that I'm thinking that got an opportunity to play at a Division II school.
Yeah. I know. I trust me. The last couple of years, it's been flipped on its head. You know, I've had many conversations with different college coaches. A lot of the mid-majors have said, you know, and to me directly, Coach, we're not taking any high school kids. We're all portal, right? And so you're thinking about a school that was going to take 25 high school kids and it was a mid-major, and now it's gone all portal. You know, it's the Wild West in college football. The college scholarships that are available are less than ever, and with the portal and with the, you know, still with a lot of players had the extra year with COVID, so there's an influx of college football players in the system, and yeah, you're starting to see it's hurt the high school kid. There's no doubt, you know, and I used to get so excited seeing the, you know, mid majors and FCS schools come in, knowing that they were going to get some great football players that were maybe not going to go to the Division I schools. This past year, you saw a lot less of them.
A whole lot of them. I tell you this is, so how do you navigate this? Okay, I got a player that I know back in the day he could have went at least mid-major.
Right.
How do you navigate him now to say, okay, look, he's waiting. You know he's good enough, but he's waiting and he got the opportunity. How do you tell him, listen, you might want to drop down to D2?
Yeah.
But how do you tell the kid that, coach, all your other teammates are going to Texas.
Yeah. They
going to Florida State. They went to Miami. You went to Louisville. You had North Carolina. I'm trying to think for last year. Louisville, North Carolina, Texas. You got all the guys. And you know what? I scored touchdowns. Yeah. I did my thing. Yeah. I know he's taller, he's big and faster, but I know at least he can go to a mid-major. I played on the highest level of football in high school.
Yeah.
I'm there.
And done it against great competition.
I'm going against St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah.
Was a mecca of football in Florida, and I shut down the #1 guy.
Yeah.
I can't get in school. I got to go lower Division II.
It's a heartbreaking conversation, and the thing that, you know, I tell our guys, you know, the thing that I do is I contact the coaches directly, right? I got the cell phone numbers and I contact them directly, and we blast it out like crazy as a staff to make sure all of our guys are getting evaluated. And then when you have a player that you know is an elite player, we had one a couple years ago, DeJon Gilbert, is at Ferris State, great Division II program. But if you ask our offensive line coach Jameson, who did a heck of a job, he coached him for 4 years. If you ask him, he said, Coach, he's probably the best I've ever coached. He's you know, Coach Jameson was a 4-year starter at Troy. He's like, Coach, he's as good as I was, you know, and could have been, you know, was a Division I guy all day, every day. You know, and he was, you know, a 6'2", but he had great wingspan, could run, and great competition, 3-year starter, and he's at Ferris State, and you know, he's grateful for that, and but you know, any other year prior, this guy is going, we believe, you know, mid-major at least, if not even Power 5.
Right.
You know, we had a player. We've had so many players. Jeremiah Connolly was a 4-year starter for us. You know, and he got Bethune-Cookman, but he did great stuff for 4 years, and you know, the recruiting stuff, it's devastating. You hate it. You just try to be honest with them. I mean, I can't do anything else. I always tell our guys, look, man, you got to be honest with me, and I'll be honest with you. Like, that's what we want to. We want to build our relationship on love and honesty. And so you got to be honest with them about this is what's going on. You know, I've had college coaches talk to our players and parents as well, if they can, about, hey, this is what's going on. Right. This is where we're at. And when you have mid-majors that are not taking any high school kids, you think about how many less high school scholarships now are available if the FCS schools are going portal, even the Division IIs are going portal. You know, and I remember a big time program in our state was going after one of our players, and they said, Coach, if we don't get him, because he was a top on their board, if we don't get him, then we're not going to go, because, you know, they have a board. They used to have a board.
Yeah, right.
So
ain't no more boards.
No, if they don't get number one.
Ain't no 1, 2.
If they don't get the one.
They going over here. It's 2 boards now. Porter board.
That's right.
High school board. But high school board is small.
And here's the other thing people don't know. There's actually boards that are for players that are not in the portal.
Right.
So there's boards in colleges. I know this for a fact. There's boards in colleges that have maybe the best, let's say, defensive ends in the country, right? And let's say their coach is at a big-time Power 5 school, and they got a whole recruiting program that, you know, is looking at guys that are the best mid-major, non-Power 5, or maybe just a different conference.
Right.
And they're going, okay, this guy's a baller. He could play here, but he's not in the portal. But we know they could entice him
to get in the portal.
get in the portal because of NIL now. And so now they can go pluck guys that are at the mid, that are balling, that are all conference, all American kids, that maybe they're not even in the portal, but they're going to find a way to get in contact with that player.
Of course, easy.
You know, it's going to be through people at home. You know, they might be trying to call me. They might be trying to call you.
Oh, you already know.
And say, hey, you know, if so-and-so, we know he's at this program. It might be a great program, but it might be a FCS or mid-major or whatever, non-Power 5 or not the elite top 10 programs in the country. They say, hey, if he gets in, you know, we got a spot for him. And now with the NIL.
Right. But no, you know, that's a double-edged sword now.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting because I had one of my boys call me and say, yeah, coach, school want me to come out, so I think I'm going to go ahead and come out. I said, why? You start.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Right.
Oh, coach, you know, get NIL, coach, you know, we need the money. I'm saying to myself, you need the money. And here's what cracks me about the money. And maybe it's just me and wrong, okay? Well, my son Lo went to Notre Dame. Now, I told all my kids, once you go to college, don't call me for a dime.
Right.
Now, the only one that can get money from me is the baby, it's the girl. Right. The boys, don't even think about it. You know, you got to take care of them girls, right?
Yeah, I got 2 of them. I know.
But my son Lo went to Notre Dame, and I said, he called me, I said, when you get your financial aid money, Lo, we're going to take out a certain portion and put it up.
Yeah.
So now when you get out of college, you have all this money.
That's right.
I want you to survive off what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, Notre Dame, they give you per diem, all you can eat, all the food.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You put the money up, and I know what, we'll get you a ticket home. But a lot of times you go to bowl game, they give you a ticket, they give you this, give you that. 4 years he survived. At the end of 4 years, he had $5,000 saved. Yeah. And this off the financial aid money that he had got. Right. Then I taught a couple other kids, same thing. Now, he ain't get no extra money nowhere, so I'm talking to my other boys and talking to a lot of the boys. A lot of kids survive, Coach, without NIL. I have not yet seen kids say, oh, I got a full scholarship, I played football, because I couldn't eat. I had no food. No. I was starving. My mama had no money, so I'm going to quit. I have not seen that. No. Kids quit because they had babies. Right. They quit because they couldn't handle it. Yeah. It was too tough for them. But now the NIL in it's crazy. Yeah. So now that same kid that went in that portal chasing the money, all of a sudden the head coach come back and say, nah, we're not gonna take him. Right. Yeah. Now you're in the portal. You're the starter here. Now no school gonna take you. But you just left your opportunity to start. Now you went from this school to that school. Yep. It's a double-edged sword. And these college coaches, you know, they can be as used car salesmen as anybody. They could. You know, and it is what it is. And so, you know, and if you're in a place where you are playing, right, you're getting an education, you know, and you got it, because then these college, and then heck, that college coach, I promise you, he might not be there next year. Right. Right. You know, he might get fired, he might move on, and it's just wilder than it ever has been. And then, you know, if you're playing and you're getting film, and then you get out of the portal, you get in the portal and you go elsewhere, and let's say you go and you get beat out, and you're not playing anymore. Now you're back in the portal. Right. But it is, and here's what's crazy about that. So I'm in the portal, I know, talking to a friend of mine, named Tremaine, right, talking to him, and he was like, yeah, you know, a kid at a Power 5 school. Right. They got unlimited opportunities when it comes to getting a degree. Yeah. Right? You get a degree in everything, right? Right. Unlimited, right? So even you a 4th year, you can go into get your master. Yeah. You can be whatever. Yeah. You go in the portal, you go to another school. With that school might have unlimited too, but then they might not have exactly what works for you. Right. Now you're moving credits. And a lot of times they don't transfer. Don't transfer. Then you didn't get in that port. Now you're down to Division II, who have limited scholarship opportunity. So now you was going to this school to be an engineer. Then you went to this school, okay, engineer, that's not their thing. They're in law school. Yeah. You know, you just went for the money. And now you're at Division II. They don't have neither one. Right. And so, how many credits do you have that transferred over? Correct. Now guess what you end up leaving with? A sociology degree where you can get a high school diploma and make the same money. Yeah. No, I know, and that's the thing, you know, because at the end of the day, you want to see young people that have a chance to go get a scholarship to graduate, and then change the course of their future when football is done because of the degree that they earned. But what we're not talking about is how many of these young men that are going in the portal are not getting degrees. But here's the other thing, and we talked about it earlier. College coaches are just as bad now because they're forcing kids in the portal left and right. Right. So we get, you know, everyone wants to talk about the athletes that get in the portal and all that, but like these college coaches, they're forcing kids in the portal if they're not playing in a year or two. Correct. Right. And so they're, you know, these kids sometimes they're being pushed in the portal by the coaches that recruited them. Correct. You know, and that's just slimy. It's slimy because at the end of the day, you know, as coaches, we're here
for these young people, and I get it. I know I'm going to be judged by the scoreboard, right? That's it. We're going to be judged by wins and losses, hired and fired by wins and losses.
Yep.
We get it. And I know the pressure at that level is at an all-time high, but there's got to come a point where, like, as coaches, we're entrusted to help better these young people. So when you're forcing them in the portal because you missed on your recruiting evaluation, that used to not be the case back in the day.
No.
If you missed, you would still be able to be there 4 years and get your degree.
Yeah, and you try to develop him.
That's right. And hopefully he becomes a great person. Maybe he's a second team or he's a special teams guy, and but he's a key product. He's been there 4 or 5 years. He gets his degree, and
maybe an academic guy to help your academic rate for your team stay high. I remember a kid that went to Notre Dame from Mount Dora. God, I can't remember the name. Jeff something, and he had one offer, FAMU.
Wow, right?
One offer. But back then, you have your 25 scholarship. You only use them a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You lose them. One. They gave this kid the scholarship. He never played at Notre Dame.
Right.
But he was a 4.0.
Yeah.
He kept that GPA high.
Right.
He was a great scouts player.
Yeah.
He had a great career.
He had
a great life now. He got a degree from Notre Dame, and he had time to focus on something bigger than sociology.
Right.
So I want to go back to something. And you talking about when we're talking about trying to get kids in group of 5 or FCS, and it's just not working. We got to go to Division II now, and then the kids start in the 11th grade year. They start acting funny now. I don't have a scholarship. I don't have this. Or I got to go to smaller school. You're not helping me.
Right.
You're not helping me. Why ain't got no offer? This kid that does this school got an offer. This kid, this school got an offer. I did better. I did this against him, and you know what? I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Right now. So forget the Guatemala.
Yeah.
Forget Restore the Pride.
Yeah.
Forget the foundation.
Right.
Forget all that. Now I'm thinking about me. You ain't helping me, right?
Right.
So I had this coach call me from Miami, coaching down in Miami. He ain't coaching in years. He came back out of retirement to coach. For the first time in history, they won district.
Right.
District champs.
Yeah, big deal.
34 players on the team, private school. They win it.
Yeah.
They love you.
Yeah.
His 4 best players was dominant. They dominated. They won it all. Won district, lost in playoff. Coming springtime, he looking for them. All 4 transfer out. Right. He said, "Why do y'all leave?" Oh, coach, we ain't got no scholarship. We got no offers. He's looking at him like, yeah, but this your first year winning. Yeah. It's your first year doing well. We're doing our part. They all 4 transfer. But because they want instantly. They want it now. Yeah. They're like, you're helping me. And then here's the kicker. Neither one's a Power 5. Right. 2 of them got a GPA of 1.9. Yeah. Other 2 barely making it through. They pack up and leave. Is it that the kids are lazy? They don't want to compete? Or they just don't trust? Is this NIL, this portal, the selfishness, what is it doing to our youth kids? Yeah, and what is it doing to the game? I mean, and what happens in college trickles down to the high school level, usually within a couple years, right? So what you're seeing is, and we know the movement of kids and even in Central Florida, and of course it's been in our state. For me, the best thing about my job is the relationships. Of course, with my players, with my coaches and community, but the most important is the players, like the guys, as they go through and they become seniors, they become like, because the freshmen know I'm pretty hard on them, and as they go through and they earn the respect of the program and everybody, right. By their senior year, man, we are like family, and they know I love them. I tell them it all the time. They know it. They come to my house. I do 2 different dinners where they're at my house. They know my wife. They know my little girls, and so that's the best part of the job is the relationships that you build. And it's not just the great players that we've had that are playing elsewhere. It's the ones that don't go anywhere that come back a few years later and they were great players, but maybe they didn't go to college. They chose a different path. But you have that relationship, right? So when players leave, it hurts the soul. But I coached one time told me, I don't think players have changed. I just think maybe some of the structure of the upbringing has, right? Parents have changed. Social media is a beast. Yes. And what do they say? The thing with joy, the thing that will kill joy is comparison. Yes. So with social media, you're just always comparing. Oh, this guy's got this, or this guy's got that, or they got this offer, and I don't. And so they're in a place of despair, which you hate. That's why I tell my guys all the time. One of the things we tell them and preach to them as a staff is that football is something you do. It's not who you are. Now, we say this: if you're going to do it, we're going to go max it out. Right. We're going to go max out every way we can. Weight room practice as a student, but
I don't want football ever to become their God, because football will let them down. This game will end.
Yes.
Hopefully, I always tell my guys, I want all of you guys to go play in the pros and make money. That's not going to happen. But if I could wish that for everyone, I would.
Right.
But understand that it's still going to end. And so if it becomes your God, when it ends, you're going to be in a worse place than you were before you started playing ball.
That's right. That's right.
So I want to make sure, as a staff at Edgewater, we're not preaching this to be their God. It's not about the sky. It's about the thing that you're going to remember in life are relationships, right? That's the thing you're going to remember. If you think about your life, you're going to remember the great relationships, or maybe the ones that weren't so great, but those are the things you're going to remember when we're old. It's going to be hopefully relationship with great coaches, with family, with children, with players, et cetera. Those are the things that matter. And so with the movement, a lot of times that gets robbed or stolen.
Yeah, right, right.
You know, and I want our guys to know that, like, if you want to play college football, there is a path for you.
Right.
I can't tell you which level that is. That's a lot of times based on some things. Sometimes you can't even control.
Right.
Like, God didn't give me great height. I can't control that. Right. Like, I can't control that.
Right. I ain't 6'4", 6'5".
Right. Like,
hey.
But like, you know, and so you got to control what you can control. If you say, I have a great desire to play college football, well, there's a plan. If you have a 3.5, right, and you've done well academically, and you've played at Edgewater, one of these great programs, there's going to be a D2, D3 NAIA school that's going
to be interested.
Absolutely, and you can go and play.
Yeah, so let's tag it. Let's chime in on that one right there. So it's a place for you.
Yeah.
So now it's D2, D3 NAIA.
Yeah.
It costs money.
I know.
So now
the thing is, we always talk about it. The better you do academically, the more money you're going to get.
You're going to get, correct,
at those levels.
Correct. And so, it's interesting. I did a class. I was telling the parents when I said, listen, if you know your kid is not doing great academically,
right,
your vacation just got cut short.
I mean,
all that going to Puerto Rico,
right,
California, traveling the world, you better do some staycations, because you're gonna need that money to pay for college. Because I'm telling you right now, NAIA, even with a 3.0 school, $1,000 a month, and you got the most money.
Right.
It's still $1,000.
Yeah.
Division II, of course, a little bit better.
A little bit.
I got a guy playing $4,000.
Yeah.
I got a guy in Davenport playing $4,000.
Yeah.
I got one Ferris State Cup school. They pay nothing. They got a little more. They're a national champion.
Yeah. State school with plenty of resources, national champion.
Right. But at the same time, some money got to come out of the pocket. But then here it is. Financial aid money gone.
Right.
So you got no financial aid money.
Right.
You pay them out to pay a little bit. You got to fly your home, bring your home, everything. Them the school. Now, them the kids I know that struggle more. They really gonna struggle now because they need some help.
Yeah.
They need some help, but they have to also try to help themselves. And the parent have to help them. So, like you said, sometimes the upbringing is the parent. They bias. I never get now. I ain't gonna call the name, but it was at Edgewater.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, hey, you need to tighten up in this class. So what you mean? I called Duke. You know, I call you in a minute now.
Yeah.
I said, Duke, how them grades?
Yeah.
He said, Coach, he's a great player. He's tenacity. He's nasty. He's a player, coach, but grades is bad.
Yeah.
So I called the mama and the daddy. Got two in the house on this one, right? I said, his grades bad. I say, he shouldn't play this week. But, you know, I'm just saying, that's me, right?
Right.
So my son got a C, and he can't play.
Right.
So daughter made sure they change that grade quick. Anyway.
Right.
But I see him at the game. I said, hey, you know he's struggling in class now. Did you go talk to the guidance counselor? Yeah, we got a meeting with them next week. I said, no, you got a meeting with them tomorrow.
Right.
I said,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The next week he had a brand new Mustang.
Yeah.
So it's the upbringing.
Yeah.
This what, and that was years ago. Now with what's going on now, it's even worse. How do we educate the parents that know what I'm saying that Porter is a beast? I
think just continue to try to be honest and upfront. I always tell them, like, you know, God's given me 2 little girls. I'm going to go and coach these guys, and we're going to push every single player out to every college in America to make sure our guys have been evaluated. There's so many people in Orlando that help do that, right? I know you have connections that help with, so players can get evaluated, and then at the end of the day, you know, I haven't given one kid a scholarship.
Right.
They went and earned it. Right. I make sure that we're going to do everything in our power to make sure they get evaluated, to make sure that we try to do everything we can from an academic standard. That they are an academic advising every Wednesday in our program for an hour, where they meet with guidance counselors, they meet with teachers, and we try to be proactive from a standpoint of grades and academics. You know, but, you know, when coaches say, oh, I got this kid a scholarship. No, I haven't gotten one kid a scholarship. They went and earned it, what they did on the field and how what their transcripts look like. But the thing is I want to educate families about what's going on and what's the reality with everything, right? And then also, like you said, man, like, you know, sometimes these small schools, sometimes it's like they're trying to get as many kids there as possible and try to charge them as much money to keep the school afloat.
Correct.
And then a kid that lasts a year, then he comes home, he's got a big old debt over his head, and now his credit's ruined. And I'm telling you, it's a scam in some areas too, and that's why I'm very protective of the high school football player and the high school coach and all that, because I've been in the college world, and the college world can be slimy,
it can be brutal.
But you just got to be honest. And there's great coaches in college, of course. And great programs. But, like, you know, you got to be honest with the parents. Here's what's going on, right? Here's the best way that they can continue to be successful. We want them to be successful in the field. Hey, we want to go hopefully try to win a state championship at Edgewater and build great community here. And then once they leave here, hopefully they're better men and have better habits leaving here than they did. We want to partner with the parents. I'm very much a believer in that. Let's partner together. And then when it's time for them to make the next decision, we need to look at let's get as many options on the table. And hopefully those are college scholarships, and hopefully that's a chance to play football. But if not, or you got to go and pay all this money, what are some other areas that they can go and continue to be successful at 18? Because their whole life's in front of them.
Correct.
I tell them all the time, you know, when you're 18, your whole life's in front of you.
Right.
And we want to do everything we can to, of course, promote them to go into the next level, but also what else is available for them to go be.
And that's what I want to get into right there, Coach. Do you think it's wrong that we're now, like me, I'm like, listen, do you talk to a military guy?
Right.
Did you go do a trade?
That's right.
Did you go intern?
Right.
Like no, because you got a lot of resources and the community got a lot of businesses.
That's right.
Did we go work at the deli for free and just learn how to run the deli?
Yeah.
Right. So, because they took a lot of trade stuff out. Back in my day, we went to Westside Tech, learned how to be a carpenter, a plumber, electrician.
And by the way, those guys make a lot of money.
Oh, hey, listen, let me tell you something. A guy called me. I called a guy, so I own like some condos, right?
Yeah.
So one of my ACs when I won the condos, I called the guy. I said, hey, man, my little AC's down. Can you come check it out? He said, oh, no problem, Lo. Come out. Oh, you need 10 tons. I said, oh, yeah, no problem. What's that, $400? No, $1,000.
Yeah.
I said, you got your own business, and you charging about $1,000 to put 10 tons in. Now, I don't know the terminology because I'm not an AC guy, but $1,000, I got to say to myself, how do I be a AC man?
I'm telling you.
But I ain't saying that's the right one to go, because people love it. But remember, the NFL's a dream, a college degree is reality.
It is.
Having that degree just on your paper, just on your resume, just on your application is huge.
Yep.
Whether you got a social degree and you went try to be something different in your field, it's still saying, I graduated from college. Right. That speaks volume. That's not going to change.
Nope.
When you, anyone that want to be in a higher place in life, they're going to have some type of academic background. Right. They're not taking, in the United States, a guy who went to high school and didn't go no college, did nothing, say, okay, you can be the president of the United States. Right. That ain't happening. Some places it ain't going to happen. Yeah. Now, there's two ways to get promoted in businesses and corporations and all that. There's a conventional way, and there's an unconventional way. Ain't what you know, is who you know. Yeah. But then also the one that started from the bottom and moved up their way through.
Yeah, my grandfather was that person. Yeah.
Okay, there it is, right there. So, but are we wrong for guiding our kids? Say, listen, let's have something else on our belt.
For myself and our program at Edgewater, absolutely not. Because our goal, we're not making football their God. Like, not doing it, because it'll let you down every time. Every time. Now, I will tell them this. I say, look, if you're going to do it, because you got to decide that you want to do it. This is, remember, playing, you know, it's education is a right. Playing sports is a privilege. Right. And, you know, we said, look, if you're gonna play football at Edgewater High School, it's something you do. It's not who you are. Now, if you're gonna do it, we're gonna go max it out. Right. You're gonna be held accountable. You're gonna be challenged. You're gonna lift every day. You're gonna be in class on time. You're gonna be pushed to practice. Correct. All the things that we think are necessary to build a competitive program year in and year out. That's correct. But I do not want them to ever think that Coach Duke and his staff at Edgewater have made football their God, because it'll let you down, right? Because again, 80%, what is it? In a good year, 20% of your seniors will go. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. Will sign. Right. So 80% won't. Right. So what are we doing with the 80%? My point. Right. So we better educate them in all areas as a football coach if we're doing it the right way. Coach, you know why I said one day? I would like to see when you do sign a day, you have two tables. Right.
one for the one that signed for college and one that's signing for a trade or just a regular
I agree.
degree or just going to doing something else.
And I got a lot of guys in the program that have gone off to college and they've gotten academic money.
Right.
They got academic scholarships and they're not even playing ball.
Right.
I even had a quarterback.
Right.
I had a quarterback who took us to 2 state titles, who had multiple offers. And he said, Coach, I'm going to go down to FAU because I want to be an architect.
Yeah, I already know you're talking about.
And he loved the architecture program at FAU. He had an academic ride to go down there. And I was like, look at this, man. This guy was a baller. Played baseball, played football.
Yes, I already know. Kane over. We can call his name. I know I coached him in football. Mobley, I coached him in
Mobley. And I was like, he was wise beyond his years. He comes from a great family. And, he was at Dr. Phillips, so thanks, Coach Wells,
Appreciate you, Wells.
Yeah. But, he came over, and I remember I was like, you got these offers. These are full ride offers. What do you want to do? And he said, Coach, I want to go down to FAU. I love the architecture program. And even the coach at FAU called me, Coach, we'd love to have him. He's like, Coach, I'm good. I want to go to school. I want to do
But see, that goes back to the upbringing.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, his parents are incredible.
Going back to upbringing. Whether they really want them to play football and really want it. I mean, I know they love sports. But at the same time, you can't be mad if they just did. They just went.
No, and he's going to be successful.
Right, 1%. Now, here's what even crazy. I heard they're finna change the percentage now. 0.05 is now the new NFL. Who's gonna go to NFL now? Now they saying forget the NFL. Let's roll in D1.
Yeah.
They now putting a percentage on how many kids actually go to D1 now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
From out of high school.
Right.
They put a percent out on this percentage going to go to D1 now.
Right.
So with that being said, let's turn the tides again.
Real quick, I do tell my guys that go D2, they go SCS or whatever. Now I'm like, and they feel that, and I feel the same way, that you could definitely play at a higher level, right? We've been doing it long enough to know what it looks like and et cetera. So, but I do tell them, I said, look, go and be great there, go and max out, because if you don't go D2 or you go to an FCS and you become an all-conference player, or you become an All-American, or you become a great player for that team, what do you think's going to happen?
Somebody come get you.
They're going to get plucked up.
Yep.
So now maybe that dream of going Division I is still a reality.
It just happened to my boy. You remember Trent Allen from Bishop Moore?
Oh yeah, offensive lineman.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
Me, monster.
Yeah, they always got daggum good offensive linemen over there.
Pull the trap,
right?
Right. Trent Allen, my guy, I've been knowing him. And his dad is best friends. My business part of my real estate company.
Okay.
Right? So he went to Davenport.
Yeah.
And he was everything. Freshman of the year, all mention the first year, all everything.
Yeah.
And the coach told him, "Thank you, because we stole you, buddy."
Right.
So he said, "Well," and the coach told him, "Go in the portal." The coach told him, "Go in the portal, and if you don't find nothing, come on back home."
Good for that coach.
He went in the portal, 10 offers.
Yeah.
He committed to University of Ohio.
There you go.
There you go. I'm saying, so it can happen.
No, it does happen.
Right.
And it's hurt the high school kid, because that Ohio, University of Ohio was that would have been a high school kid years ago.
Correct.
But now they went and took a great D2 player.
Right, exactly.
So it does happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I got to do. Tell them, if you feel a certain way, like go be great.
Right.
Right.
And then, but he's there now, and I talked to him the other day. He was like, "Yeah, coach, I think I'm gonna start, but I don't know. I might be second string. But now you went from starting you to man or whatever. Now you up here. Yeah. You might be second string, but at the same time, he says a senior in front of me or a junior in front of me. I'm just a redshirt freshman or whatever. Kiss my beat. I'm gonna wait my time. But he's the one upbringing, because his dad say, "Hang in there, tough."
Yeah.
Pain. What they say, pain is temporary.
Yeah.
Greatness is forever. It's gonna be pain to sit that bench sometime. It's gonna be pain.
Yeah.
Just to rotate.
This game creates pain. There ain't no doubt.
Right. Exactly. But then all of a sudden, greatness come. You the star. You run out there first. You're on the field first. It happens all the time from there.
And Ohio's a great MAC program. They were one of the winningest programs with Solich for the longest time. And Dwayne Dixon was always he was the recruiter that came down.
Dwayne Dixon. I'm glad you brought Dwayne. I just talked to Dwayne.
He's great.
He's actually gonna come on and listen to Low Show.
There you go. He'll be great.
He retired.
I knew he was getting close. He was one of my favorite guys that recruited our school, right? Man. He was at UF forever was Furrier.
Mm-hmm. You know what he told me? He said, "Low, it's just too much." I said, "What's too much?" He said, "I can't take it."
Yeah.
He said one of the coaches asked him, so how long are you gonna keep on, coach? He said, "You ain't gotta ask me no more. I'm done." He would say, when they used to get extra weeks of vacation,
those are gone.
You can't now, because you got to stay and babysit the guy from leaving.
I know.
Or you got to make sure you got to have them at your house. You got to take them places. You got to bond with them more now. You can't even go do it with your own family now, because you got to make sure. Cause if you ain't a great recruiter and a great coach, you out of there.
I know, fast.
When you go when you at Ohio and say you want to go to Michigan, and when you come in, they're going to say, okay, give me your resume. Well, this is where I've been, but last year I was a receiver, none of my kids left, or one of my kids left, or none of my top guys left to go nowhere else. They love me and they trust the process. 3 of them in the NFL. I brought in the best recruit. I brought in 3 4-star. So that whole thing now, and Shane, he say he just can't do it. So there's college coaches are stepping down from coaching. I got David Lockwood. You know David?
Yeah.
Right? He just left Appalachian State saying the same thing. David, him, and there's one more left. Sands ended up going to Citadel, so he came back. But these guys, the coaches are stressed. The
Beyond
players
belief.
are stressed.
If coaches were close to retirement, the last couple years has said, okay, we're good. You know,
we're good.
And guys are trying to get to the NFL if they can. You know, we talked about that. The college coach, everyone talks about college coaches, but what's going on in the college football world is just nuts, and it has crushed their. They have no life, a lot of them, because of the time commitment now that's put on them.
Right. It's dreams. Yeah. NFL's a dream. College career is reality. The kids got a dream to go play in the NFL. It's still everyone's dream, no matter how you do it. I can make it, right? They got so many guys that made that was short. You know, that made it. They got guys that wasn't as tall, that didn't play but 1 year of high school, made it. Right. Or guys that end up transfer 3 schools, still made it. So they got all kind of hope. These players
and I want them to keep that hope. You know, you don't want them, but you also want to make sure that you give them again. Okay, if this doesn't work out, that's okay, because you're gonna have X, Y, and Z ready to go too. Correct. So I want our guys to dream, and I want our guys to have great hope.
So, but we also want to give them a chance to plan. Kid in the portal right now, because the coach told him he over recruited. Yeah, his kid was injured. Told him to go in the portal. No film. Nobody wants him. 6'1", 190, 4'5". Right. Got hurt. Yeah. Nobody wants him. Another kid in the portal, same height, same size, got 8 offers right there. Another kid in the portal, 6'4", 300, played a couple snap. He got to go from Power 5 to down to MAC conference now. Right. It just, so the portal is doing some crazy things. I asked the coach from Michigan, Tony Afra, I said, what's going to help us?
And he just came from Ohio State.
Yeah. He's at Notre Dame. Yeah. Ohio State. Then now he's at
Michigan, which is wild.
Wow. Crazy.
And he's a great recruiter.
All 3 of them fight each other. I mean, right. And right. So here's what's crazy. So all these kids right now are just trying to find a home. They're trying to find a place. They're trying to go somewhere. Right. If they don't make the right decision out of high school, it might hurt them. Mm-hmm. So chasing the Power 5s, is that still the way? Or do we just go where we can play? I think I think it's a great conversation point. You got to go somewhere where you can play. Because if you just go and you go somewhere and you're not playing, but you like the size of the school or the pedigree or whatever. But if you're not playing, these coaches are going to basically tell you. I think it's after 2 years just about to get in, and maybe earlier. So where can you go and play? Because at the end of the day, if you're a great football player, that means you're a great competitor, which means you love playing. Right, and you want to compete. Right, you want to compete, and you want to be on the field when it's game time. Right. So where can you play, and where can you hopefully play early? Right. So let's get into this segment here. Okay, you got a guy that I know that was dealing with this right here in NIL money. Yeah. Yeah. So it's. And Rodney Wells dealt with one with NIL money because he had the big Peyton Curlin, and you had the Cedric Baxter. So you got big guys, right? And both went to Texas, right? Ironic. And you had to make a decision where to go. Because if Texas A&M wants you, that means everybody wants you. That's right, yeah. That's got to be tough on the family, got to be tough on the kid. Making that decision is hard NIL. So I asked Tony after, I say, what gonna change? What can change? He said, the portal never gonna change. You can hang it up. We down a rabbit hole, it ain't coming out. Right. He said, but only way the NIL gonna ever stop is when the boosters and the companies, the business, stop giving the money. Right. So until then, NIL is here to stay. You had experience with it. You ain't got to get into all details, but how that recruiting process now that I got a top guy who got every school in the doggone country. Right. And he make a decision where he can play. He got to think about the monies, who in front of him What if I don't play? It's a lot. How did you deal with that? How do you navigate that?
Well, I think one thing that, we're talking about CJ Baxter, his family is incredible. His mom and dad are great people. And so that have raised up a great young man who just happens to be an incredibly talented football player.
Right.
So I think the family did a great job navigating it because it was never the number one thing that was going to decide his recruitment. He had a great relationship with Coach Choice, the running back coach. He's a relationship kid, right? He was with us for 4 years. He could have, trust me, I'm sure every high school in America, he could have gone to any high school he wanted to, right?
Right.
And he stayed at Edgewater, and that guy is like family to me. And I always tell our guys, I said, look, when you have decisions and that's a blessing. Now it was stressful. I mean, I knew it stressed him out. I mean, you thinking about just adults calling you all the time and reaching out to you. I mean, it got stressful for him, I know, but one thing I always tell my players, I said, if you have a decision to make and when you have multiple, you got multiple opportunities, that's a blessing. So let's make sure we keep that in priority, which he always did. I said, this is what I think when you have decisions. I said, number one, you pray about it. I said, this is what I do. I say, I pray about it. I ask God for wisdom, and I pray about it, and I seek his voice on an answer. Then I go, you seek wise counsel. And I think the key word is wise.
Wise.
Not just any counsel, right? You got to seek wise counsel. And I think he had great wise counsel with his family. I tried to, as much as he needed from me. I know he had other people that, he sought counsel for to make the best decision that he thought was for him. And ultimately, he'll tell you that the decision he made was because of the relationship he had with he had a good relationship with the head coach, Coach Sark, but Coach Choice he's a great man. I'm so excited that he's get a chance to be under him, his guidance, his leadership. This is a guy that he's going to help CJ as a man as much as a player, and that's what I want with our guys when they leave, is that they get a chance to go and be around people that are going to help them way beyond football. And I think Coach Choice is doing that, and will continue to do that at Texas for him. But it was stressful, but I think he did that. He had great counsel, wise counsel with his family, and we talked, and we had many open discussions, and he was just always it was a special time for him to go through such a tough decision. But I thought he handled it with grace, and I thought he handled it really. Almost, I hate to say it, it's almost professional, right? Like he's 18, actually 17 when he graduated.
Right, but isn't it interesting? The whole time when you were breaking down the NIL, the process you went through with CJ Baxter, you keep saying coach player relationship.
Yeah.
Coach player relationship.
I mean, I think
now even and what I love about it too, and I'm going to cut you off, coach. Like if that coach leave, CJ is okay, because I know when you got a coach-player relationship, he's not just saying come for me. He's saying come for Texas.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a coach-player relationship. People think coach-player relationship is, oh, yeah, I got your guy. I'm your guy.
Right.
I'm going to be there for you, coach. I ain't going nowhere, CJ. I'm a Longhorn. No. Well, coach-player relation, I learned it from Tony and Daryl and Charles, and I was talking to Coach Washington, Penn State, all them guys, I'm talking to them. They saying a coach-player relationship is a coach that impacted him at everything at Penn State, at Texas, at Notre Dame, at Michigan. So if all the coaches leave, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm staying.
He believes in the institution.
I believe.
He thinks the institution. He thinks the institution is going to be better. Is going to help him as a man. He talked all. Austin. I mean, they love their football, right? You go there, you got I think the best running back in the state of Florida, leaving the state to go to Texas, and they were thrilled to have him. So now he's got a whole state that's now backing him. He thought this. I think you're right. I think when you are someone that truly cares and loves either the players you're recruiting, the players you're coaching, you're trying to give them advice to help them, not just to benefit you, but it's going to benefit them. If, like, in the long run, I always say this to families, I said, I think Edgewater is a great high school, and it's not a great high school because I'm the coach. I think it's a great high school because of the history, because of the community, because of the location, because of our Friday night atmosphere, because of our teachers, because of our guidance counselors. I can go on and on.
Right.
I'm not saying it's a great high school because I coach there.
Right.
I think it's a great high school because of X, Y, and Z. Do I think we have a good football program? Yeah, and I think we're going to continue to strive for greatness. But, same thing, I think, when Coach was presenting, he thinks Texas is a great place, and he thought CJ was going to benefit from University of Texas.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say the same thing, Coach.
Yeah.
A lot of people say the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And
family culture, blah, blah, blah.
Family culture, everything. And then some people leave because the coach left, or some people leave because they ain't playing right now. Some people leave because they homesick. They leave for so many different reasons. And sometimes, they don't, like I said, that pain, they don't understand it's just temporary.
Yeah.
They like, they want now they want, we call it a microwave. They want instant popcorns.
No doubt.
Right? Instant popcorn. So I tell all the athletes, and I hope I'm to tell you if you agree with this. If they want instant popcorn, go where you can pop them popcorn instantly.
Yeah.
Right. If you know you're going to go to Texas, make sure you know that I'm going to pop popcorn in Texas instantly. Yeah. If I don't think I am, if you know your work ethic, you know if you out there grinding, you're working, you're training, you're disciplined, you're respecting your body. Yeah. You ain't putting stupid stuff in your body. Right. Right. You got structure, so you know I can go there. I'm gonna be fine when I go here. Right. But then some of them don't understand that, and they still go instead of going somewhere else. And they can just go and just play, right? Because they know they want it right now. Some people, they're not patient. Yeah. There's no more patience in here because the money. And they said, then a lot of them have the love of the money, right? And that affects them
big time.
We're gonna do a show talking about NILs and the transfer portal all together. And I want to leave you with this right here. An athlete committed to Iowa.
Okay.
Leave Iowa. They got $100,000 from Iowa. I might be wrong to them, but they're gonna match up. Goes to Alabama, get some more money.
Right.
Leave Alabama, go back to Iowa.
Yeah.
Get some more money.
Yeah, offensive tackle. Now he's.
So I don't know the amount, but I think they say 3 fingers.
Yeah. It's a flawed system.
So in the NIL got to do something better to try to fix that, because
there's no contract either. It's not binding.
So you don't have to give it back. And they got $100,000. He had $100,000 before he stepped on the campus.
When I heard the story, I told somebody. I said, "Look, man," I said, "if you're a businessman, you can't blame the kid. He's taking advantage. He's taking advantage of the. He's not doing anything illegal. He's taking advantage of a system that is currently out of control, and so he's going and he's maximizing the amount of money he can get. Now, we know this, right? Money is great, but when it becomes God, it'll let you. It's not great, right? And so,
see the love of it.
It's the love. Exactly, it's the love of it. And so, I'm so thrilled when I hear my players are getting NIL money. I'm so thrilled that they're getting a chance to, and hopefully that it's being put away and they got the right people around them. I'm not a money, I'm not an accountant or anything like that, but I'm hoping that they have the right people, not the ones I know do. And I'm thrilled for it, because if you have an opportunity to make money from this game, you got to be able to, you got to do it.
Correct.
I mean, golly, it's hard as can be to, but from the standpoint of chasing it for the love of it, that's when it can get tricky, and that's when it can, things can get a little out of whack.
Well, I tell you, I think the NIL is good too, as long as they're doing it right.
Right.
I said on one of the Listen to Low show, I told them, if you get NIL, this what my suggestion when it first came out. I said, because I got to trust for my kids. I know you're going to trust for the babies, the girls, right? That's right, yeah. So you got to trust. I
got to pay for weddings and all that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you got to trust for the girls and everything. But in my trust, right, it says you cannot get the money until you get a college degree, or till you're 26 years old.
Okay.
Right? I think that's when the career thing started happening, right?
Yeah.
That was in my trust there.
That's good.
Right? I told, or you go to military. You go to military, you're in the military, you're working for your money.
Right.
You serve the country.
Absolutely.
All right, okay. That's good. You like that, Coach?
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like that. Yeah.
So here you go.
Tell my wife about that tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. So now, here you go.
And also, I got to prove with the guy.
Right, exactly. Oh, yeah, I already did that already. So that's my 3 criteria. I felt like NIL, that they can't get the money, right? They can't get the money. Like, I want the money guaranteed, right? Right. But you don't get it
until they graduate.
Until you graduate college,
right?
Or if you do go to NFL early,
sure,
right? You got to come back, because all you gotta do is just take one class to finish at the school. I already know that for a fact, and get your degree. So you go to NFL early, you got to come back. Like Clint Diggs, all the guys went back and got their degree. Yeah. Now I give you your money, or until you're 26. Yeah,
I mean, there's got to be some things that we do from a parameter standpoint with NIL. Is from the game that we all love in college football. It's just the Wild West, right? And you can't blame kids that are chasing money, especially when you got so many young athletes that have come from so little and they get a chance to make money. And then they're getting dangled stuff and they're getting people, promising things. And sometimes, what's true and what's not. The NIL stuff, what they tell you and then what you're actually getting can be different. So,
no, I have seen that happen too. They didn't get the money. And now I'm finna leave. But here's what's crazy. I went there. He said, I'm giving the money. I didn't get the money. I'm in the portal. Why? Just stay there and work. Do your thing. Right. I had one of my boys did that. Right. They ain't give him the money. They said he stayed. He wasn't gonna leave. He stayed. He realized I'm not going nowhere. Can't have no film.
Right. Yeah.
You stayed. You busted your butt. You came out starter in the spring. They just gave him $35 grand.
Right.
Hey, there you go.
Yep.
So sometimes they got to stop running.
Well, and I think you talked about. I think anything worthwhile in this life takes some difficulty to work through it. Nothing that I've ever really enjoyed was easy. Right. Great relationships. They take work. Having a great football team, you got to have the grind of summer and fall camp and all that. If you want to be great in business, there's going to be times that you got to put the work in. I mean, instant gratification, anything that's been worthwhile in my life has not come overly easy. Let's put it that way. And things that have come easy, that's great. But I mean, the things that I remember and I take great pride in are things that you've had to really work hard and have had some pain to go through. And it builds perseverance, man. It builds character. That's like, God didn't promise us just some easy life. That's right. But the journey and the perseverance and the obstacles that builds who you are as a man. So, I'm so proud of so many guys at Edgewater that have stayed, and they didn't start till their senior year. So their junior year, they weren't starting. And so they stayed, and then they started their senior year. And a lot, Davon Martin, goes to Middle Tennessee. He didn't start till his senior year. Had 8 interceptions. Yeah,
right. That famous one-head kid. Right. I remember that too. Yeah, right.
And we have a lot of stories like that I love. I love seeing that. And I've also, C.J. Baxter probably could have started at a lot of high schools his freshman year. He sat behind a great running back in Isaiah Connolly his freshman year.
But then look at C.J. now. Yeah. So now that's why he's been there before.
Yeah, he has been there before.
He could have just ran. Now he going to all the different schools. I go here. But the thing about it is, Coach, it's starting to trickle down to the youth football. They going 4 or 5 different youth programs. Sure. Then they go, now they say, know what, I did it in youth. I can do it in high school. I'm going to go this program. I go to college. They move it so much.
Yeah, it becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit. I mean, I think anything, there's good habits and there's bad habits. And I'm not saying moving places or moving high schools is always a bad deal. I get it, right? And I wish players that move and even guys that have left that job, I wish them the best, and I hope they have great careers. They're young people that I'm going to be pulling for. But, there are things that you got to question when something becomes a habit. Is it going to be beneficial long term? Exactly. And if it's starting young and you're bouncing around, I mean, again, at the end of the day, I think the thing that hurts and all that are the relationships. So if a kid's been to four colleges, where's he going to go tailgate once he's done playing football and go back and what teammates are you going to go hang out with? Same thing in high school. If you go to a bunch of places, like where are you going to show your kids where you played and graduated from? Right. You still have great pride in Popka, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
So you that you're a blue dart.
I'm blue dart. I bleed the blue.
Okay, and so right your teammates that you probably have great relationships with still to this day.
Oh yeah, I still call my boy Derek. Gavin's the head coach at Barry. I called the Derek. We was the best guy. Dan LaForest.
Yeah.
He's my quarterback.
So that's what I'm saying. So you think about that. Those are the things with the crazy amount of movement that can happen that gets robbed. Like who are your dudes? Who are you going to go show where you played ball with? Who are you going to talk to your friends about who you played and where you played and all that? And those are the things that as we get older, you're going to remember.
Coach, oh my God. So I'm going back thinking when Lilo, my son, was going to do the recruiting process. We went to Michigan, I bought Michigan gear. We went to Auburn, I bought Auburn gear. Right. We went to Notre Dame, I bought Notre Dame gear. Then we went to Georgia Tech. We didn't make it to Stanford. So I ain't buying it for Stanford. That was my last school to go to. Right. So I go in my closet. I got clothes from every college. So I'm looking at so then he commit Notre Dame. Like, what am I going to do with this? So I'm gonna run around in my job saying, who like Michigan? Who like this? Who like? Right. You can't go back and say, yeah, I went to Michigan. No, you did not. You visited Michigan. Right. You didn't go to Michigan. Your degree is from this school. Yeah. You went to 3 different schools, 2 different schools, but your degree is from the last one you went to. You got no relationship. You went there for the last year. And that's why right now the locker room is a mess. I was talking to Coach, the locker room is a mess. A kid told another kid, yeah, I got my NIL, baby. Yeah, I got $50,000 NIL, baby. The other kid said, what? I'm better than you? I'm starting? And
I know.
He go tell the coach. Coach said, no, that ain't true. That ain't true. No, y'all lying to me. Portal.
Yeah.
So kids lying about what they get in
You
now.
don't even know you don't even know what's true and what's not.
You don't even know.
Because like in the NFL, everybody knows the contract. It's public record.
It's like, right.
You
don't know NILs.
Yeah, if you're a running back in the NFL and you're in a running back room, everybody knows what everybody's getting, and everybody's excited to get what they're getting, be on the team.
Correct.
But there's no transparency, right? And I don't know how you can have a cohesive locker room when there's no transparency.
Correct.
And because the NIL stuff, yeah, you think about it. If you're a young person, you've been balling to that school and doing really well and all that, and so they bring in somebody who had never played it down, who's now making a lot more money than you. Yeah. You know, like golly. And then you think about the coaches and what they're going to have to do and how they're going to have to walk through that. And it's tough. It's a mess.
Well, Coach, it was great to have you on the Listen to Low show, Coach. Great information. I'm talking about, I love the knowledge. I love what you're saying. I love what you stand for, right? And I love it. Restore the pride, the coaches-player relationships, right? Yeah. The foundation, building it brick by brick by brick by brick, right? Staying in contact with them guys, guiding them, leading them to be a great husband, a great father, right? A great man, and of course, great football player.
No doubt. You got to make that, or I'll be fired.
Definitely thank you, Coach, for coming on. And you heard it right here, episode 10, the Listen to Low show. Man, it was a great one. And remember what we said, 2 ears and 1 mouth. Make sure you like it, share it, subscribe at Camp King Cage for Kids 1-2 on YouTube. And we'll see you next week.